People, it don't finally happen for Abuja. Oh. Hey, now, better wahala now don't dey for Tinubu head, the Jagaban of Lagos. Better wahala don't dey for him head. Here and Nelson Wike, the new minister of FCT. Better wahala don't dey for their head now. Now, another 25% wey dem talk say if you no score for FCT, say no go fit become the president of this country. Wey the judiciary come later talk say FCT just be like state, you know, say FCT just be like state, say even though say no score 25%, say if he become the president of this country just to favour them on that day, on that tribunal day. Now Abuja people now don burst out say they need they need governor for that state. Say they need governor. See guys, make I not talk too much, make I just watch the video. Now for this video I go see both the APC people where they cry bitterly. Now for this video I go hear everything. And please do well to share this video, like, comment, so that Facebook will recommend this video to others, so that fellow obedient families, so that Nigerians go fit see this particular update. When I watch the video now.
In order to favor APC and Tinubu, the tribunal judges read a judgment which nullifies the part of the constitution that states that a candidate must score 25% in 24 states. And the FCT, they said the FCT was just like every other state in Nigeria, that there was nothing special about the FCT. Now, in response to that fraudulent declaration, the people of FCT have now approached the government that if you say there is nothing special about the FCT, how come we do not have the governor of Abuja like every other state in Nigeria? How come we have the minister of the FCT? Why don't we have a governor who is the son of the soil? Why do you have to go and bring a minister from another place if the FCT is just like every other state in Nigeria? In response to that aberration of a court ruling, they said if the FCT is just like every other state in Nigeria, how come the FCT does not have 3 senatorial districts presenting 3 senators like all the other states in Nigeria? Then they began to make demands of the government. But before I show you those demands, let me quickly show you this video of gullible Nigerians that have been once again used and dumped by the APC. APC promised them money, and so they brought them to the Court of Appeal the day the fraudulent judgment was announced. They came to Court of Appeal. Look at them. Look at their picture. They came to the court carrying placards, throwing support for Tinubu to deceive the world. And as usual, after using them, APC refused to pay them. Now they are left stranded. Look at how stranded they are in this video.
Nigerians, once they come here, they see food now, they go see what. Now hungry people, then they go meet now. Look at the people they are using now. Look at it. Look at it. Tell them make them learn. It's better for them to say not to collect that money for a better Nigeria. Then they come they cry now. These are the people causing problem for Nigeria. Now them be this. Now them. Because they will not come and carry decent person like you. Come and say they want to bribe you. Look at it.
You have seen that. And that is how these people allow themselves to be used time and again by this same set of politicians. And look at some of the tweet reactions to that video. This tweet says, their cry never starts. Let them trek home. And this tweet says, I have no pity for them. They should trek back home. Sense go soon fall on them. Oh! And this tweet here by Saint Obi says, they will suffer. The shege way they go see, they do push over for gym. They never see something. And this tweet says, now why I know they give them kobo if they beg me for money, they will support and vote nonsense people and still come out to beg. That is it. And this tweet by Voice of the People says, APC can never do a clean job. Now wow, I am telling you, you rig election, the whole world knows. You rig judgment, the whole world knows. And now the people that you brought to come and protest, you refuse to pay them. The whole world has known once again. Now wow, it's so sad. It's so sad. But my ultimate vision is that one day, all these people will wake up and join the movement of emancipation of this country. And that time will come sooner than we all think. because this same Peter Obi will be the man to lead that movement. Now let's get back to the issue of the FCT and how it affects Nyesom Wike. The indigenous of FCT are now saying that since the FCT is like every other state in Nigeria, they want a state governor. They say they want 3 senators and a son of the soil as an FCT minister, just like every other state in the federation. Trouble for Wike, isn't it? The people here voted against Tinubu because they do not want him. And since the tribunal decided to remove the special nature of the FCT as stipulated by the constitution, then the FCT demands to be treated as a state. Now, where does this leave Nyesom Wike? Each state constitutionally should have a minister. And now you are saying that the FCT is the same as other states. So why should their own minister come from another state? And look at some of the tweet reactions. This tweet from Shehu Sani says, I support the indigenous people of Abuja to have their governor and 3 senators. But nobody should be allowed to contest, only the indigenous. Yes. And this particular tweet from Buki says, Wike will soon be useless in the FCT. Yes, that is it. And this tweet from Colin says, what is good for the goose is good for the gander. You can't judicially ordain them a state and leave it like that. They should judicially create the office of the governor, senator, and the corresponding House of Reps. FCT doesn't have any democratically elected head elected by them. And this tweet says, APC go scatter this country. I'm telling you, this is their aim, to scatter this country. Now, in other news, this next video is one that I would like you all to see. A foolish, brainless supporter of Tinubu took his lies, ethnic bigotry, and religious fanaticism to the most show with George Galloway in UK, and he was totally disgraced. Watch the video.
Thanks a lot, George. I've been a regular viewer of your show for many years. I just wanted to say,
thank you.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, with regards to Nigeria, we need to be quite careful about it, because yeah, indeed, there were some discrepancies in the last election, but it's not enough to say who won or who did not win. I would just like to say, opposition to the current president has led to a lot of spike of violence against his ethnic group, the Yoruba people. And this is where we need to be careful as to how people frame the problems they have with the president. Because at the moment, if care is not taken, the way a lot of independent journalists, so to say, are framing these things up, it might lead to another brutal ethnic clash. And as you know, my country experienced a civil war in 1967 between the then breakaway Biafra region and the rest of the country. I'm afraid we might be heading in that direction again. So I would like you to please take a step back and actually review the dynamics to the last election. Because we can't say for sure that Peter Obi won that election. A lot of, we do vote on the basis of religion and ethnicity, but most Nigerians are Muslims, and we voted for Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Whatever problems people have with him is fair, but he's the person most of us voted for. And I think the more people are going after him on a personal level, as against going for INEC, which is the body responsible for elections, civilians from my ethnic group are being targeted. And I just called because I've seen a lot of conversations surrounding him, and I want you to be aware of the risk he poses on the ground. Thank you.
Well, look, there's no question of me taking a step back. I'm merely hosting a show in which all kinds of people are invited. Every 5 minutes, I invite everyone to call the show to give their point of view. And you just have, very succinctly indeed, you have taught me something. I had absolutely no idea
that Tinubu was from the Yoruba people. That's the only good thing about him. And my contempt for him has zero to do with the fact that he's a Muslim and zero to do with the fact that he comes from the Yoruba people. These two things are the only two good things about him. I'm against him because he's a crook. I'm against him because he's a thief. I'm against him because he's a bagman for the bigger thieves. In Chicago, Illinois, I'm against him because he forged his election papers. I'm against him because INEC forged his victory in the election. Am I supposed to turn a blind eye to all these things? Because he's a Muslim, because he's a Yoruba, because this may lead to ill feeling to his people? When I express my contempt for Rishi Sunak, I'm not hating on Indian Hindus. I'm hating on Rishi Sunak for everything except the fact that he's an Indian Hindu. I parked that. I have no interest in that. I'm against Sunak for a whole range of other reasons. I'm against Tinubu for a whole range of other issues. Now, I invite all points of view to enter this debate over Nigeria. If we had a Moats Africa, we could do it exclusively every week on that show tailor-made for the African audience. But we don't have that, so we can't talk about Nigeria every single week, every